Hello, hello, beautiful, expansive, growing souls. Welcome to Soul Good. Thank you for joining me. I'm Amber Marie, and this is part 2 of the Collective 2023 Tarotscope. If you have not seen part 1, feel free to jump back and take a look at that. I will link it in the comment section below. There will be in the description box a whole lot of information, including the decks that I'm using today. There will also be links to my social media accounts. There will also be links to information on personal readings and the Soul Good membership channel on Telegram. There will also be timestamps for you, letting you know, what's the third quarter of the year, what's the fourth quarter of the year, because that is how we've been looking at this collective reading, right? So again, I want to give you the opportunity to go ahead and check out part 1 if you have not already, right? So no spoilers. For those who are joining me from part 1, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me again. I'm so excited to jump into the second half of the year and see what we really have going on for us, because it has been expansive so far, right? It looks like we're growing, ending things, beginning things. It seems like there's going to be a lot of growth through the first half of the year. So again, excited to see what's coming for the second half. Let's jump right in, looking at the theme of the third quarter. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, tell us about our theme for July through September 2023. Okay, I'm going to get this card here and pick up the ones off the floor. And go back in the deck with those. Please do remember that this is a collective reading, not a personal reading, so only take what resonates with you. And for more information or deeper insights, feel free to check out your Zodiac Tarotscope in the Tarotscope All Signs playlist for 2023, okay? All right, so what is a challenge we might be experiencing during the third quarter 2023, please? What is a challenge? No, that's way too many cards. Nice, clear message, please. Nice, clear message. What is a challenge? Thank you. And a blessing? A blessing that we'll experience during the third quarter of 2023, please. July through September. What is the blessing we will experience during the third quarter? Thank you. Ooh, that's interesting. Let's get some clarity. Tell us more, please, about the theme of the third quarter of the year. Wow. Wild. Nice, clear message, please. Tell us more about the theme for the third quarter of the year. Thank you. Tell us more, please, about the challenge of the third quarter. Thank you. And more about the blessing. Thank you. All right, let's take a look. Let's jump into the theme of the third quarter. So again, we're looking at July through September. The theme is happy, happy. This is the number 26. How beautiful is that? I mean, look how happy she looks, you guys. She looks so excited. That makes me excited, okay? So for some, I feel like there's something here about happiness. How do I word this? There's something about like the mastery of self, or just, how do I word this? It's coming at me from so many different angles, you guys. It feels like happiness in the sense of I know what shines within me, right? And that makes me happy. That, right? That brings me fulfillment. That brings me peace. That brings me, right? Like that puts color into my world, right? Being happy with who I am, knowing who I am, shining brightly, accepting that about myself, right? Mastering who I am. I feel like that's part of where that happiness comes from. The other part of it, I feel like for some of you, right? And you guys, it's very possible that maybe not everybody will resonate with this, right? But I'm going to use it in terms that I would refer to. So for me, it's God, maybe it's source, universe for you. But I also feel like some of this happiness for the third quarter in the theme comes from that knowing source, from that connection with source, like feeling like source is speaking to you, through you, around you, and in your life, right? As you move forward. Um, I love this. I'm also getting messages of like protection or feeling protected, feeling like that star you wished for, as it were, has landed in your lap, right? Like that's kind of how I'm seeing it, like wish upon a star and then it falling into your lap. Let's take a look at the tarot. So we do have the Two of Wands showing up here as well. I'm getting some fear. So for some, pardon me, the theme, and I feel like what will help to bring that happiness for you or that fulfillment for you is actually choosing it. Okay? Choosing it. Like, and I know that may sound, I don't know, I don't know why that sounds so weird. Because I feel like some, it's literally that choice of choosing the things that make you happy, the things that make you feel fulfilled. I also feel like for some there's like this element of planning, almost what is the word I'm looking for, please? Yeah, like manifesting but expecting for good things to show up, right? Planning for good things to show up. Um, it's kind of that law of attraction energy of behaving as if. Okay, but the big thing here with this Two of Wands is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. I feel like getting out of your comfort zone could potentially lead you to a place that, or a feeling, or an experience, or a lifestyle change that really does bring happiness into your experience, right? During the third quarter. And this, I mean, let's be real, like for at least me in the US, right? That's summertime for me. July through September. That's my favorite time of year. That is when I'm most happy. That is when I'm getting out of the house, right? That's when I'm like wanting to plan things. That's when I'm wanting to be places and do things. So, right, there is an element of like choosing and planning and utilizing your time wisely, right? I feel like that's important. We also have the Hierophant, which is the number 5 here in the reverse. Oh, sorry guys, let me switch those around because it's different for me. And with the Hierophant there, that energy in the reverse is one of like blind faith. I mean, I'm just going to be real, you guys. This is the energy that I'm getting. It's like, what's going to make you really happy, right? Getting outside of your comfort zone and just having this blind faith, like this utter faith that what you're feeling called to do and the choices that you're making are going to lead you to the things that make you happy. Right? Even though there's risk, even though there's discomfort, right? All those things, like it's still leading you to what's going to make you really happy, right? So that's what I'm getting with the theme for the third quarter, right? Is really choosing in blind faith to follow what you feel is going to make you happy. Even if you're unsure, right? Even if you have no idea how it's going to turn out, it's just like, hey, like for example, and I'm just going to share this because I've used this analogy before, right? Like, let's say you work a 6-7 figure job and you're like, yeah, I think I'm gonna quit and I'm, gonna join the circus. Like people would look at you like you're batshit Looney Tunes, right? But if that's what makes you happy, it's like making that decision, getting uncomfortable, knowing that you are risking losing a 6-7 figure job, and having blind faith that where you're feeling called to go is what is going to bring you that happiness and fulfillment, right? This card reminds me very much of this like 10 of Cups energy. Like you see how there's this like swirly rainbow pattern here, right? Very kind of swirly rainbow patterning there as well, right? So it's like choosing what is going to make you happy, right? Trusting that it's going to take you to that place, even though it may not be conventional, even though it may not be things that are typically viewed as smart, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just choosing what is best for you and trusting that it's going to lead you to that happiness and fulfillment. So for a challenge, we have co-create here. Holy banana nuggets. So this is the number 40. I'm sorry, guys. Hopefully you can see that. And this co-creative energy, that's a challenge. It is. You want to know why? You want to know why it's a challenge? Because you have to have that blind faith. That's why. You have to be willing to surrender. You have to be willing to understand that you manifest from your thoughts, your words, your actions, your emotions, the energetic space you sit in, everything you think, like that's where you manifest from. That's where you create from, right? So there's that. There's an acceptance of that. There's also an acceptance, an acknowledgement, or a challenge to be overcome in facing the fact that many times, more times than not, in order to co-create your reality, in order to bring in things that are going to make you happy, that are going to make you feel fulfilled and complete, right? You often have to essentially just go in blind, right? There's this saying, like, with great risk comes great reward. Very similarly, right? You go in with blind faith, you co-create with God, and it's like you don't know what you're gonna get. You really don't know. You're just trusting that God's got your back, right? And it's interesting because it's very similar to the energy that's already come in for the first half of the reading. So again, or rather the first half of the year. So if you haven't listened to part 1, I would encourage you to do so, right? Especially if we are now in, when you're watching this, the third quarter of the year, right? July through September. But that challenge is gonna be trusting that co-creative energy and trusting your own wisdom, trusting that you're birthing exactly what you need, right? Trusting that it is a cooperative effort, right, between divine spirit and yourself, divine creative consciousness and yourself, right? Tell us more about the challenges. So the Knight of Swords, yeah, the challenge is taking that action, right? The challenge is, again, putting that, I mean, your swords is that mental energy, right? But it is like the driving mental energy. It is that forward movement, right? So it's essentially like the challenge comes from you putting the action behind the mental energy required in order to co-create your experience. That is going to be the challenge. Surrendering when you need to, moving when you need to, right? Trusting that divine wisdom, letting you know, hey, we're co-creating together. When I say move, you move just like that. I don't know where that came from, you guys. It was there, and it's probably important. I'm just saying. Okay? That might be the theme for the third quarter, right? Like the theme song for the third quarter is like trusting God. When God says we move, it's like, all right, we go in, right? God's like, when I move, you move, just like that. It's like, okay, fine. That's what you're asking for me or of me. I'll do it, right? We also have here, wow, the Ace of Swords. So the challenge, you guys, is going to be this mental energy, right? That's the challenge. Getting over that mental, that mentality, right? That co-creative mental energy, I feel like is going to be the challenge. With the Ace of Swords, in the reverse, it's an energy of like confusion. It can also be one of chaos, right? And people, how do I word this? Like, you guys, I'm just going to be real. When you start, and this happened for me too, which is why I feel like I can speak on it a bit. When you start to unravel that which is the true reality, which is you co-create your experience, which is you've manifested your experiences, which means at some point or another, you brought it upon yourself. That will create all sorts of chaos in your world. It will confuse the ever living crap out of you. It will, again, right? It can really, really shake things up. It can really be jostling for some. And that is a challenge. It's a challenge. It is a challenge to radically accept that you have co-created a reality by which you have been traumatized, wounded, right? Whatever it is. It's very difficult, and I feel like that's the challenge. I am going to read, let's see, which message here, because it is a challenge. So which message? Protection? Okay. I'm going to read the protection message from this co-create card, right? And consider this as we're reading about in regards to the challenge, okay? may add a little bit of context. All right, so it says here, now is the time to examine what you are giving energy and attention to in the back of your mind. If you're obsessing about being right, if you're obsessing about being right, about old resentments or failed expectations, about money, or about any other people, places, or things, these will be the source from which you create. You can't make it up. You can't. So if you were sitting here like bullshit, guess what? You just got called out. I'm just kidding. But no, really, right? It's wild to me. It really is so wild to me how I pick up on these threads before even looking. I don't know that I've ever actually read this protection message for this card either. So it does say, but you want spirit to be your source. Take heart, for your higher power will never desert you and is always waiting for you to remember the sacred partnership you share. Turn away from other sources of power that don't serve your highest good. There is no source greater than spirit. You can always surrender your troubles and trust that they will be taken care of. You are in good hands, right? So again, it's that energy of trusting, right? Trusting that wherever you're being led is where you need to be. Trusting that whatever you're creating is what needs to be created, is what needs to happen for your highest good, right? So again, like I was saying, I feel like that challenge for the third quarter is surrendering to the fact that you are a co-creator of your reality, right? Working through that confusion, letting spirit help to guide you through that confusion. Okay, let me just shift the camera just a little bit so you guys can see the cards down here. Okay, so let's look at a blessing for the third quarter. We have message in a bottle. This is the number 15. And what's fascinating about this is I feel like this summer, or summer for me anyways, the third quarter, July through September, you could potentially be having something show up in your reality that you've been waiting for, right? Something that you expressed in prayer, meditation, whatever, manifestation, however it is that you put out your order to the universe, to God, to spirit. I feel like there could be something showing up, right? Something you've been waiting on. Maybe it is a message. Maybe it's confirmation of something. Maybe it's a letter. Maybe it's a phone call, an email. Maybe it's in regards to something, again, you've been trying to bring forward into your experience, right? Because you are co-creating. And that has been pointed out for the third quarter, right? So maybe it's something to do with that. Maybe you were waiting on a word for something that you've been trying to bring into fruition, right? I feel like that could come in the third quarter, and it may be a big blessing, right, for many. We have here, wow, interesting, the Three of Cups in the reverse showing up with this message in a bottle. Three of Cups in the reverse represents isolation, or it can. It can also represent like a gossipy type of energy or being like overindulgent. I feel like for some reason, I don't know what it is. I don't know why. But for some reason, for some, I feel like there could be a message showing up about something to do with like a third party, right? Like three different people. Maybe it's a business opportunity, something like that. I don't know. I want to read the Three of Cups, just the guidebook, Shadow Seer keywords from the author. I just feel like it's going to add something more insight to, especially to this position, because it's kind of odd. Okay, so it says here, right, a need to see the value you bring to a relationship. Okay, yeah, that would definitely be a blessing for sure. It also says disputes or miscommunication, feeling left out, sometimes a love triangle, or a need to make amends. So what's interesting, okay, thank you, Lord. I'm so glad I read that, because the blessing could be for some, maybe you've been waiting for an apology, maybe you've been waiting for amends to be made between you and other people, maybe three people, maybe just one more person. right? Whatever it looks like, it doesn't always have to indicate a third party or more than two people or more than, you know what I'm saying? So maybe you've been waiting for some sort of apology or some sort of reconciliation or something like that, right? And it shows up. It could also be this, it feels like you could be receiving something to essentially show you what your value is, right? Maybe it does come from someone who expresses, you know, some form of apology or reconciliation, recognizing now the value that you brought or bring, right? Um, it's very interesting. I just feel like there could, it's for some, I feel like it's something you've been waiting on, right? And that could be a blessing. But I do feel like for many, there's this element of um, potentially someone coming forward to reconcile, and it could be something you've been waiting on patiently, right? Because when I think message in a bottle, you send it out and then it's not going to just show up like the next day with, you know, in someone's hand, right? If you're sending out a bottle with a message in it to see, it's likely going to take a while for it to return, if ever, right? So there's an element of like, this has been something that's been, you know, you've been waiting for. um, and I feel like maybe it shows you your value, or maybe you've been waiting for this and it's been like that thing that's been missing. Maybe that you feel has been preventing you from experiencing happiness of some sort, right? Or friendship, community, which is interesting because that's already showed up during the first half of the year, right? So again, there could be a message coming in. Very, I love this, you guys. Again, and it could just be, you guys, like I was saying, maybe you're waiting for a message from a third party, right? Maybe again, maybe it's like some kind of loan or a business arrangement or something like that, right? For the third quarter, but it looks to be um a pretty powerful third quarter. I mean, the whole year looks powerful, if I'm being honest, at least thus far. But it looks to me like that third quarter is really going to be one where things may really start to kick off. Because again, right, when we look at the oracle cards, we have happy, happy, co-create, and a message in a bottle, right? So this to me is saying like things are moving. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the fourth quarter, right? October through December 2023. What theme might we be experiencing during that time, please? What is the theme? Thank you. What is the challenge for the fourth quarter of 2023, October through December? What is, okay, and the blessing, please? Thank you. All right, let's get some clarity. Tell us more about the theme for the fourth quarter of 2023, October through December. Thank you. How would you like, okay? Tell us about the challenge. Okay, thank you. And tell us, please, about the blessing for the fourth quarter 2023. Tell us more about that, please. October through December. What is the blessing that might show up for us? Or tell us more. What do we need to know about the blessing that will show up? No, that's there. Okay, thank you. All right, so let's take a look at the theme for the fourth quarter, October through December 2023. We do have breathe here. This is the number 29, right? So it's interesting because there's a couple of things I'm picking up. For some, it's literally like, just breathe, right? Maybe things feel chaotic, maybe things feel crazy. And the reason I say that is because the number 29 reduces to 11, and 11 is often an energy that is tied to awakening. And awakening can feel hectic. It can feel chaotic. It can feel turbulent. It can feel dramatic, right? So that's, I don't know. It's the energy I'm picking up on, right? It's just like for the fourth quarter, for some, really the theme is like just being able to breathe, like just being able to move through things, allow yourself the opportunity to breathe, realize the importance of being able to breathe, right? Being able to stay balanced, right? not allow external circumstances to throw you off, to disrupt your peace. Okay, I feel like that's a big part of the theme for the fourth quarter. And what's really interesting here is we have the King of Cups in the reverse showing up, and if you look like the King of Cups is this energy of like manipulation, emotional, manipulation at that, right? It's also an energy of moodiness or coldness. And here's the thing, like I really feel like there could be some external circumstances taking place through the fourth quarter of 2023 that could potentially manipulate your emotions. I don't know how this is going to show up, right? I'm not getting any pings right now. But I am feeling like there could be some things that take place during the fourth quarter, which could potentially be, how do I word this? It's like, I don't want to say be used to manipulate your emotions, but that's what it feels like to me. It feels like there are things that are intentionally being done to manipulate emotions. And the best way through that is to breathe, is to literally not be able, I mean, let's just be real. It's basically to be unfuckwithable, right? I'm just going to be honest. Like, that's what it feels like. It's like anything taking place external, like, do not allow that to knock you off your access. Do not allow that to disrupt your internal peace. What you've, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I feel like it has the potential to, for some, like, take 2 steps back. For some that have already been on this journey for some time, like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like that, I don't know, for some it just feels like a spiral for some. Take it if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't, right? Don't pick up anything not meant for you. Okay, don't. But I feel it's just really interesting to me because that King of Cups is so emotionally balanced and so in touch with himself and intuitive and all the things. It's very odd to me that it's coming out in reverse with that breathe card. So it just feels to me like there is that potential of being able to be manipulated if you're not able to just kind of, how to word it, it's like we're not reacting, we're responding, we're breathing through things, we're not letting it throw us off our axis, we're not letting fears get the best of us, right? We're just breathing through the things, observing, moving through the moments. Let's take a look at the challenge. So we have exchanging gifts here. That's interesting. It is the number 27. So it's weird to me, right? How we move, how just because it goes from 29 to 27. So it's kind of like, actually, and we're at 27 minutes, 40 some seconds right now for this part of the reading. So it's interesting that those correlations are there because I feel like, again, the challenge could be not taking a step back for all the work you've done. It's really fascinating to me. This card, normally when I get it, it feels like, or I shouldn't say normally, but often it feels like essentially getting rewarded, right? Getting rewarded. In this particular case, right, and we're looking at it as a challenge, is essentially, I feel, not blocking your own blessings. And I don't want to say undoing the work you've done, but that's what it feels like undoing all the work you've already done by letting something have control over your emotions. Okay. I just feel like we could find ourselves in that situation, right? And I don't know what that might be for you. Like, it could be incredibly life-changing, or maybe it's something kind of smaller or on a smaller scale, right? But either way, it's like, do not let whatever's happening outside of yourself to knock you back pegs, to have control over your emotions and undo all of the work that you've done so far, right, throughout 2023 and prior to that. We also have here temperance in the reverse. So like I was saying, right, do not let things throw you out of balance. Temperance in the reverse. I'm just saying, right? Do not let things throw you out of your harmonious state. That is going to be the challenge, right? Being patient with yourself and others is going to be the challenge. Trusting that universe, that source has your back, right? That you are on the path meant for you. That is going to be the challenge, right? Again, not undoing all the things, staying in balance, staying in harmony as to the best of your ability, right? That's going to be the challenge for the final quarter of 2023. As far as the blessing is concerned, we have a change in the wind. So this is beautiful. We do have the number 12 here. And with this change in the wind, like, okay, I feel like nothing is going to look the same after 2023. I don't know what that means. Like, as I film this in real time, we are in January, right? So I don't know what's going to happen. I have inklings, right? I have little feelings and little tidbits, but I don't know how the final quarter of 2023 is going to turn out, right? And I feel like whatever it looks like, I feel like it's never going to look the same again. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. That's what I'm picking up with this energy here. Let's take a look. We do have the Queen of Pentacles here showing up to clarify. And that Queen of Pentacles is a queen of security. She's a queen of knowing where her resources are. She's very business savvy. She's very practical, right? She is the nurturer, the caretaker. She's also very patient. I feel like part of the blessing is like there's that change and having, okay, yep. So for some it's the blessing of the change and having the patience to be able to kind of ride the wave, as it were, right? Or withstand the storm, as it were, right? Like knowing where to get your resources from, knowing where to go and what to do, what to tap into as things change, I feel like is going to be a blessing. Being comfortable with being uncomfortable is going to be a blessing for sure. For sure. I have to say, like, that's a definite. Because again, that Queen of Pentacles is very comfortable and change is not comforting. Okay? We don't like change. Human beings do not like change. I am going to read the prosperity message for the change in the wind, so we can add a layer here with this Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so it says, oh wow, listen to this. You're going to love this, you guys. Blessing, right? Change in the wind. As you endeavor to create a prosperous life, you may encounter unexpected reversals that cause you to shift directions. This is a good thing. So there is nothing to fear. Perhaps an opportunity you sought went to someone else. Perhaps you pursued something that you suddenly realize is not in your highest good. You might not be 100% clear on where you need to go, but you are certain that things are not going as planned. Circumstances are not in your control right now. Wait it out. All will be well. Even better, actually. Trust. So what was I saying? As things change, as things shift, being comfortable with being uncomfortable, knowing where to get your resources from, right? Being patient, waiting it out. That's going to be your blessing. We also have the Seven of Pentacles, which is interesting AF because it's in the reverse, first of all. And second of all, the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, friends. Sorry, I just hit the table. Hopefully that wasn't too loud for you. And I know there's like some commotion going on outside or somewhere. I apologize, you guys. It sounds really loud to me. So hopefully it isn't as loud for you guys. But we do have the Seven of Pentacles here in reverse. And this is an energy of like distraction, right? It's an energy of distraction. So essentially with the Seven of Pentacles, it's like, don't allow the fact that things are changing, that things are moving, that things may feel uncomfortable, distract you from what the goal is, right? Trust that all is well, right? Trust. Be patient, okay? Don't get distracted. So the blessing, I feel, in the fourth and final quarter of 2023 is to be patient, especially with ourselves, especially with other people. And I love you guys. I don't know why I love it so much. I mean, I do, but I don't. Like the Seven of Pentacles showing up for the end of the year, because 2023 is the universal 7 year, right? And we're closing it out with a 7. And the sevens represent that introspection, that reevaluation or analyzing self, right? And it's interesting because I feel like, how do I word this? It's like, I feel like we're closing out the year with a blessing, learning about what we're actually capable of enduring, what we're capable of persevering through, what we're able to do when we don't allow ourselves to be distracted or swayed or moved or shaken by fears, by changes, by things that make us uncomfortable. And that's a blessing because I feel like we're going to be able to discover our true strength, right? I feel like we're going to be able to discover how resourceful we actually are, how patient we actually are, and how capable, or rather, that we are far more capable of what we thought, right? So beautiful, amazing, amazing reading for the collective for us for 2023. Thank you so much for joining me. I absolutely have loved every moment of this collective reading for all of you. It's been an absolute pleasure. I truly do appreciate your time and energy. If something in this reading has resonated, for you for 2023, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, commenting, or smashing that subscribe button. It really does help the channel to grow. It tells YouTube that there may be something here for someone else to see, so they push it out to more people. So I really do appreciate that. I hope you have, I pray that you have an amazing, glorious, expansive, powerful year where you're able to discover the light within you, shine it to the world, and be proud of it. Be unapologetic about it, move with it and through it and around it in the way only you can. Take care of your amazing, magnificent, unique soul, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.